I'm Carol Roth, and as a speaker, I leverage my background raising over $1 billion in capital for businesses, doing $750 million in mergers and acquisitions. And my book, The Entrepreneur Equation, is a New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and USA Today bestseller. I prove that business does not have to be boring.
It not only goes to being prepared about the company you're interviewing for, the client, but also being prepared on your own stuff.
You always want to date someone before you get married. You never go on one date and get married unless you're in Vegas and there's a lot of alcohol involved.
$10,000, and you divide it by the 50 weeks out of the year that they were working and the 50 hours a week. They were pulling down a cool $4 an hour after a decade. Fabulous. This is very much indicative of the state of women in business. And I know there's a lot of cheerleading going on, women in business is great, fantastic. And it is great. And we are starting more businesses. But I also believe that there are a lot of issues. And the only way that we're going to address those issues and create opportunities and go and bring it is if we're realistic about it. We can't address a problem if we don't acknowledge that it's there to begin with. Jobbies. Jobby is my affectionate word for a hobby that is disguised as a job or a business. It's basically a hobby that you make money from or a side business. And let me tell you, jobbies are awesome. Because if you've ever had a hobby that sucks up a lot of your money, you'll know it's good to have a hobby that actually makes some. How many of you have a hobby that takes up tons of money, like golf or scrapbooking? Or I've collected dolls for many years. That's a huge, huge suck of money. The challenge with a job business, and if it's all about you and all dependent upon you, is that if you want to take some time off or you want to build something, it's not going to happen. And there's only 24 hours in a day. And I don't know about you, but I like to shower. I advise it from time to time. You got to sleep. If you have families, you have to take care of your families. Some of us like to have sex too. Most companies and brands think a loyalty program is. This is what they think it is. Buy 9 and get the 10th one for free. We're going to throw swag at you. We're going to give you hats and t-shirts, and that's going to create loyalty. Well, no, it still doesn't create loyalty. You have to care about them. If you don't care about them, you're not going to create loyalty for them. So it's really important to look at the senders and the spenders, to identify them, and then at the end of the day to invest in them. Customers are your biggest asset. They're not on your balance sheet, but they are your biggest asset. I think Harley-Davidson is a great example of a company that exudes loyalty in every facet of what they do. I mean, Harley isn't just about the bike, it's about the experience. If you're a Harley rider, you are a Harley rider, you live it. And they do it in an informal way through their product and through their brand mantra and everything they do.
So I just always kind of stayed in that box. But this was something, if I'm going to tell people, oh my God, I'm going to be on television, and what happens if I'm not on television? Well, they're going to point and laugh at me. Would any of you point and laugh at me if I didn't get on television? Would you even remember that I told you that 2 days later? Probably not. The roadblock was me. It was my ego. And so I finally said to myself, well, what happens if I pursue this and it doesn't work out? Not a whole lot. I'm pretty much in the exact same position that I am today. Maybe I, forewent some dollars that could have come into my pocket, but there really wasn't a whole lot of downside in pursuing it. But what if I did get there? Or what if I even got half of the way there? The reward greatly outweighed the potential risk. The risk was a bruised ego.